Mediation is a very good tool if two people are finding there's some sort of conflict, and it's a very good way of addressing conflict and trying to solve the issues in an informal environment. And mediation is not adversarial. We try to emphasize that both parties are actually on the same side. They need and want to solve the situation together. And the process is usually that I or a mediator would meet each of them separately, explain the process, and then the second part of the whole thing is to try and get them together, to actually sit round the kitchen table with both parents and say, is there any area of common interest that we can work on to get this solved? And gradually bring these people together so that they can start discussing without having me or anybody else present. It can last half a day, or in some cases it can last for months. And the success rate of mediation is very good. About 80% of cases do settle in some way. I've got a good example of this where a farmer died unexpectedly at a fairly young age, and the farm, under the terms of his will, passed to his son and his daughter. They were both in full-time jobs, one abroad and one in Scotland, and they were both felt compelled to come back and run the farm because their mother was not in a position to do so. And we found that the best solution was to continue to keep the farm, but to contract out the work. It's absolutely vital that the mediator explains at the beginning that the whole process, the whole conversation is entirely confidential. The parties do not share anything that takes place in the mediation unless they both agree that it can be shared with somebody else. Sometimes, for example, it would need to be shared with an accountant if they need financial advice. But we have to agree that they can share what we've discussed. Usually it's just the two parties who are in dispute who take part. But very often as things progress, they decide they would like to have somebody else in the room, maybe their partner, or maybe a third party who will just sit and take no part, but will be a moral support. Because you can't overestimate the stress and anxiety which has been leading up to the mediation. So I like to keep it quite informal. And as I said earlier, emphasising that we're in this together. It's not adversarial. We're not against each other. We're working together to solve whatever the issue is. It's absolutely vital to have respect in the room, respect and trust. And you can't have people sounding off in a room in this sort of environment. We've got to actually work as a team of people working to solve a problem. You're not in a court of law where each one is slagging the other one off. It's not like that. It's two people working together to solve an issue. In the vast majority of cases, some agreement is made because at the end of the day, the underlying threat there is litigation, going to court, saying I'm going to sue you, or I'm going to seek legal advice, I'm going to do this and that, but not actually agreeing. And so there's quite a lot of emphasis on not going to court. And it's in everybody's interest not to spend vast sums of money on litigation, which again is very stressful for all parties. So usually there is internal pressure to reach some sort of agreement, even if it takes a year, and it often does. But that's the way it has to be, I think. And almost always it works out.